Good morning, YouTube and people of YouTube. Hello, beautiful people. Oh, there's a reflection. That's so cool. But good, beautiful morning, people. I come to you at YouTube to update you about content and future things on channel. Yes, I can do a really good Russian accent. And the funny thing is, I got a little bit of Russian in me. Also, pirate. Also, fun fact about me: my last name is in One Piece. It's the Bellamy Pirate Crew. Score. Anime score. But thank you if you are watching this video currently and not listening to this update. I appreciate it. Also, a lot of good things I hope are gonna come out of this channel. And mainly, like I've said in my past video, I want to do this for my son so he can watch this in the future and realize and understand that I did not want to give him up. That's basically what this video is going to be about today. It's going to be a little personal. I'm going to be explaining where I've been, what I've had. That's a little bit of my life video and things that have happened to me. And honestly, like I think I've said in a past video, my life could be a whole anime and a whole manga in one. I've also actually got someone told me I could be a perfect creepypasta, and I'm like, I might go somewhere with that. I might make my own little creepypasta. You never know. But so it all started, I wish I could do a draw to life, but I can't, I don't know how to do all those, and still getting comfortable with YouTube and platforms, and probably, let me get to the story. Probably when I get a better laptop, I'll look into it and everything, get a vlogging camera and everything, but this Surface is actually pretty good quality of camera. It's a really good camera, honestly, so I started out as a little girl, of course, and things grow hectic day by day. I had to watch my parents grow apart. They are divorced. It's been years now since they've been apart, and I think me and my sister always knew a part of us understood that our parents weren't in love with each other anymore. It started off with my mother kicking my father out of the room, and his excuse was because of his snoring. Sorry, I'm doing Pokemon right now too. I'll focus on this stuff. So she told me it was because of his snoring, but I realized that even without all of that, there was more to the story than it was just his snoring, that something else was happening deep down inside. And when you're a child, you don't notice those things right away, but you slowly understand. Because a child's mental state is a very fragile thing, and I want to assure that to all parents, to never ever make your kid feel like what they're doing with their lives is not important to them, or especially if they're trying to draw and become an artist. I know now that when I do become a parent and I am ready to actually be a parent, I will support my children 100% on their dreams. I will never put them down, because throughout my whole life, my father has put me down about my art, about what I want to do. He'll never do that. That's not a realistic dream. All dreams are realistic. If it's a dream that you have as a person, it's realistic. And it's something you should follow, and you should always follow your heart and put your all into it. Back to the story. So about around the age 10, no, let's say 9, I noticed my parents separating and starting to grow distant from each other. And they broke up around when I was turned, like, I think I was 10 at the time. I was 9 after, no, I was 12 when they split up, because we lost our house. Our house was, what's it called? Foreclosed on? Not foreclosed. Yeah, foreclosure, I think it is. I don't know, I'm having a brain fart. But, yeah, our house got taken away by the bank. Because we couldn't pay the bills, we couldn't pay anything on it. My mom had lost her job. She was trying to go to school, but my dad totally crushed her dreams on that. And things just fell from there. This is going to be a long story, by the way, and if you don't want to listen to it, click out of the video now, or just listen to bits of it. I'm not going to be too negative on it. But, So yeah, they got divorced, and at that time, me and my sister like, what's that? What is divorce? Why are you guys leaving each other? Don't you love each other? And my dad's like, no, I don't love your mother anymore. And the most cruel thing about the situation is that our father, me and my sister's father, he tried to turn us against our own mother, making her the bad guy, when in reality he left her in an abandoned house to lose her mind and starve to death. He wouldn't bring her food. He wouldn't even care about her. He wouldn't let us go see her once in a while, but not to go see her. We would have to go get her stuff, the rest of her stuff, because at that time we had to move in with my Aunt Cindy, who is evil and pure evil, by the way. If this video ever does get out there and she sees this, I want her to know she is going to HE double hockey sticks for what she has done to me and my sister, because it took me and my sister to realize a little bit that what was going on was abuse. We'll get to that story later, though. We'll go down the line. This video might be an hour long, for Christ's sake. But so back to the story. So we then had to move in with my aunt, and things gradually fell through there because my mom wanted to be part of our lives. She wanted to be in our lives. And at that point, my father wanted to have nothing to do with her. He didn't want us to have anything to do with her. And the biggest thing in a relationship is don't bring your kids into it. Don't bring your kids into the drama of it, because it will mentally tear them apart. And I had to watch my mother slowly lose her mind and give up on life. And it was one morning, me and my sister were asleep. We hear loud noise and a loud crash. And I woke up first, went downstairs to go see what happened, and she's like, "Get back upstairs, Caitlin, get up back upstairs." And it was my aunt. I'm like, "No, what happened?" "Your mother's here." Of course, your crazy mother. She threw a rock through my window because I wouldn't let her see you guys. And I told her, "You should have woke me up. I would have came outside to see my mom. That's my mother, you know." And she broke the window, so that was a pleasant morning. And so she had mooned the street. Respect to mom, just like fuck the whole street. Excuse my language, bleep the whole shoot. Sorry, do not monetize me, YouTube. There's curse words and everything on YouTube. There's curse words and GT Paranormal, but shout out to them too. I love them. Patty and the G team, love them. Best paranormal investigators, I think. I like most of the paranormal investigators. Back to the story. Anyway, so yeah, that happened, and so me and my sister didn't know what to think of it. We were confused and scared. We were like, "Why is mom lashing out like this?" And it took me a couple of years to realize she lashed out because she wasn't allowed to see us. She wasn't allowed to give us hugs. She didn't get to wake up to us every morning, make us breakfast, try her best for us anymore. We were technically speaking not her babies anymore, because we were taken away from her by my dad. And I think the most messed up situation in that area of the story is that my dad, the cops were called and they put a restraining order on her. She could not be within 100 feet of us, so she had to leave Park Forest. She had to move. She moved to the city, moved in with an abusive boyfriend. I don't know the name. I don't even know who the person is. But yeah, she moved in with him, and he was hitting her, and I got a call one day on the house phone, and she was crying and begging for my help. And I think that was a very, very mentally destroying thing for me as a child. I'm 13 at this point. I don't know what to do. I can't go to the city to help her. I can't go save her. I can't be her savior. I can't be her daughter. And she was being destroyed. My dad had left her in the hospital, abandoned, alone. She stopped taking her medication. She was doing good from what the doctor said, and then she stopped taking her medication. It's kind of emotional talking about this. And it all went downhill for her. And looking back, wishing I could save her, wishing I could have done something, it always makes me feel like it's my fault. But I know it's not. And then the next night after, I got text message from her. I have one of those those old box cricket phones, you know, the skinny-ish fat ones, the ones that nobody wanted. I was the least cool kid at school after that, but that's okay. I still had a phone, right? But yeah, and she would text me, help me, Caitlin. my sister at the time didn't realize either what was going on. She took the phone, stopped texting Caitlin. She can't do anything. She's just a child. And she was right. I couldn't do diddly squat. And she just wanted help. She was begging for it, and nobody was there for her. Honestly, not even her own family. And that's why I honestly don't mess with them. Except for my Aunt Chrissy, which I love you, Aunt Chrissy, if you ever watch this. You're a savior. You helped me out through my pregnancy, too. She's a beautiful woman, and she is helping she tried to help my mother. She was offering her a place to stay, everything. She's a sweetheart, and she looks just like my mom, so whenever I see her, I think of my mom. So yeah, that happened, and my family didn't want anything to do with the Wagners, or anything to do with my mom's side of the family. So I honestly tried to help her, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to remember the story on lines. It's crazy. So yeah, that happened. And she was begging for help, but she never could fully comprehend what happened to her. I mean, she got her kids taken away from her. She got everything taken away from her home, her kids, structure, and she had nothing. And she was released out to the world, not ready to be released. And she moved in with a Mexican family after, and that's the last, this isn't the last I've heard of my mom. So that's the last at that point that I heard anything of her. And then that's when the abuse from my aunt and my father started. I think my father is very mentally ill, either mentally ill or something up there is wrong. But the abuse started with my aunt, and it would be over little things, like I wouldn't clean up after myself, or I wouldn't, like, I'd eat something, all of the last of something, and not leave any left. Like, why would I leave a little if I'm eating a lot of it? And I started to get an eating disorder, so I started to eat more and more, because I felt like it was a comfort for me because of all the fighting and the things that were going on. We started getting into massive fights. At one point, I was 12 when this was happened, so this was still fresh. This is, I think before the mental things happened with my mother. But I'm pretty sure my mother always had something wrong with her, but I'm pretty sure what triggered it is what my dad did to her. So it started with that. She told me that she wished I drowned at birth, and then she tried to cover it up and say, that's a metaphor. And my dad's like, no, that's not. What are you doing saying that to a 12-year-old child? She doesn't. And then I ran upstairs and cried, because I felt like I was nothing. I felt like I was worthless, and nobody wanted me, and that's when that's when I started to get into, like, deep depression, and started having, like, sort of suicidal thoughts and wondering what death would be like, or what death is. And when you're young and you're a child, that's not something that should be on your mind. Playing and experiencing the world and things of the sort, that should be what you should be experiencing as a child. You should be enjoying the sunlight and the birds and flowers and everything. But sadly, my childhood was not normal, nor will, I can't say nor will never ever be, because it won't ever be normal. I'll always be this black sheep of the family that nobody wanted and kind of tossed aside. Like, my family has nothing to do with me. They want nothing to do with me. And by the way, if you ever watch this, if you are a Bellamy and you are part of my family, you are pure evil, because everything that me and my sister said happened exactly happened. If full force, it happened. I wish I could have evidence. I know 99% of the time. I got my phone when I was in, like, my senior year of high school, and that's when I'm like, fuck this I didn't say it. Fuck this stuff. Because, like, that's when I rebelled, and in the end, I ended up moving to Utah with an abusive ex that shall not be named. A couple of exes are going to be in this story, and you ever watch this, you're a piece of crap, by the way, and everything you did happened, and you are a piece of poop. And anyways, so yeah, that happened, and she started calling me names. She picked a favorite, which was my sister. My dad picked a favorite, which was my sister, because she was a grade A student. I became the bad egg of the family. I became the rebellious child who just wanted to be noticed and seen, and deep down inside I was screaming, and I started cutting. I don't know if you can see them, but I have old, like, self-harm scars. You can barely see them, kinda. But like I just rip into my wrist with a needle, and that's not something normally people cut with, but I'd go all out, and I would just watch the blood drip off my wrist, thinking, is this all this there is to life? There has to be more. So I turned to computers and technology, and I begged my dad for a computer so I could try to make friends, because at this point in my life, nobody wanted to mess with me. Even in the beginning, when I was a kid, everybody thought I was different and I was weird. And it took me a couple of years to realize being different is not a bad thing. It's a beautiful, amazing thing. If you see that your child is different or they're into different things, don't shame them for being into that. Like anime. Anime was such a big escape for me. And Naruto was my everything. I related to Naruto so much because I too have been called a monster. I related to Gaara. Gaara was my first anime crush in the universe. Like, I fell in love with Gaara because of his backstory, and I related to it. I was pushed in a dirty hole, had dirty water thrown at me, tied to a pole and beaten by neighborhood bullies, treated like crap, and called a monster because I lashed out. And the main people who called me a monster was my father and my aunt, because I beat up my sister one day because I had enough of her BS. Even though me and my sister have a pretty decent relationship now, it was in the past. We were basically turned on each other by our own family, because she'd get better things than me, or she'd get something that I wanted, and I would watch her get presents. Like, she apologized to me for the way she treated me, and I love my sister now because of that. She is my world. She's the only family I basically have left. I have a couple of cousins, but like I've said in past videos, I think, I don't consider them really as family because they're cousins, but they are family. But, so yeah, we were turned against each other. She got a nice computer. I was never allowed to use it. She never let me on it, but I can understand. So yeah, we were turned against each other, and, it's sad. Like, I honestly think my sister gave up on her artwork because of repression and other things. I don't know. I'm not going to assume that about my sister. Gets whatever she wants to do with her life. She's also a beautiful, amazing woman, and I love her. But, anyways, so my aunt started calling me these names that I didn't understand until my sister told me what they meant, like skank and all this other stuff, words that I'm not allowed to say on YouTube. I apologize, YouTube. So yeah, I was started to be calling these names that I didn't understand until I heard the word retarded, and I knew what that meant. And that's when I lashed out, and I fought back, and I told her, I am a beautiful person, and you are evil, you are pure evil. Like, she said I'd be a horrible mother, and I haven't even had a chance to have my son, which, it hurts. It hurts to have your kid taken away from you before you even get to, like, hold him or have any memories with him, and I don't get to see him right now as it is, because I'm an hour away from him. I haven't seen him since last year, and he's 1 now, and that's a messed up story too. The father of my child, I don't like to say baby daddy because that's immature, that's stupid, is very immature, and he is evil. And I'm gonna make a whole new, this is already 18 minutes long, I'm gonna end this soon. But bottom line of the story, my family, the Bellamy's, I will call them out, are abusive, manipulative, evil people that think everything they do and their mindset is right. So, my father basically destroyed me and my sister mentally. My aunt, Cindy, destroyed me and my sister mentally. And I was destroyed physically as a child because I've been raped, beaten, abused my whole life. And right now I have structure and stability, and it's the first time I've had that in my life. And the man I am with now, I am truly, madly in love with, and I've changed. And I've noticed I've changed and become a woman now, and things are different, but I honestly think as people, we are always constantly changing and growing. So I'm going to end this video off with this, a little bit of information and inspiration. If you are watching this video and you're a child and you're in an abusive family, let someone know. I've let people know when they've never done anything, but talk to someone. talk to people online, make friends online, be comfortable. Just don't do anything you know you shouldn't be doing. Um, Stay strong and be yourself. Always be yourself. Never. I can't say never change for anybody because I thought I'd never change, but I've changed. People and change are inevitable. Change and people are inevitable. You can't avoid it. You're always going to be constantly growing and changing and adapting to your surroundings. So I'm going to leave you all with this. Love, light, and air. Just breathe in everything and take a moment to take in everything and the love that you do have and the people you do have in your life. And understand that not everything in this universe and world is evil, and some things are beautiful. Like God and religion can be a beautiful thing, but some people make it evil. I'm a Wiccan, and I do believe in God. I believe in gods and goddesses and a bunch of things. So, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to make a part 2 to this, to my life story, and hopefully you guys watch it. Tune in, like, share, subscribe, and have a blessed day, guys, and blessed be, and may you all have a beautiful Halloween.